It's amazing what you talk about after the lead stops flying around you. Hartsock told us of one bar fight too many. His reward was a nasty scar on his cheek, courtesy of a loudmouth lumberjack and a broken beer bottle. Alan and Garnett said they both enlisted right after high school, rather than wait to be drafted. When it was my turn to talk, I just froze. I realized that nothing in my life before had really meant anything. Until now.
We have to link up with the other squads in Veerville. Any minute now, gliders are gonna start landing in that field. If a glider hits even one of those poles, it's curtains for the boys inside. Clear out as many of those damn things as you can.
You know, he has a nasty habit of making this shit sound easy.
Okay, Baker. Lead the way.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is Cavalier Story, and today we are continuing on with Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. Today we are continuing on with the campaign, and this one is specifically called Rommel's Asparagus, which was the nickname for the many stakes that Rommel set up prior to the invasion of Normandy to basically try to take out as many of the gliders as possible. And what Max said at the beginning of the level is absolutely true. If one glider even hits one of these, that is pretty much game over for the glider infantry inside. And the gliders had a variety of roles. They usually either carried extra supplies for the airborne, or they actually carried a specific regiment into combat. For the 101st, it was the 327th Glider Infantry.
Take them out!
And the 327th is a frequently not really talked about unit at all. Everyone knows about the 502nd and the 506th, but almost nobody actually really knows about the 327th, which was the glider infantry. And for the longest time, they weren't treated the same way as the airborne. They didn't go to airborne school. They didn't get the airborne wings attached to them. And more importantly, they didn't even get stuff like all the special privileges that the rest of the airborne can do. Like, they weren't allowed to blast their boots. They weren't allowed to... They didn't even have their own special insignia. They were treated more or less as just regular infantrymen. However, towards the later end of the war, they began to receive a bit more respect from their fellow soldiers. Just because they didn't, go through, actually fighting, jumping into combat with a parachute, didn't mean that their job was any less dangerous. But yeah, every single U.S. Army airborne unit actually had a specific glider infantry regiment attached to them. And yeah, they just kind of came as the reinforcing wave.
Hit them hard!
I'm gonna ignore those guys. The reason for that is because they're infinitely responding on this level, so you have to kind of just try to get the stakes cleared, and then you could go in and wipe them all out. Normally you would not do that in combat, because this is actually a horrific idea to do it in combat, just to ignore enemy fire, as well as cross into my own guy's firing lane. Well, hit this one. Up, there's a glider. Yeah. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this later stage. This is probably like a resupply glider mission. Because as far as I'm aware, most of the glider infantrymen came in with the rest of the airborne. Because they had their own little objectives and stuff. Okay, we're leaving.
Unload on them! Don't stop firing! Fire!
Okay.
There's no way! Here we go! Form up! Keep shooting!
So, I think they abandoned this field. Yeah, they're leaving. They're moving off of the map. So we can move on to the next level. Well, next level, but the next field.
Get to that cover! There's more of them! Get moving!
I have another gun? Oh, I just have the Colt.
Roger!
But yeah, even slamming into those, yeah, it would be dicey for the guys inside.
Fire on that position! Face of fire!
Okay. Let's get them suppressed. Now, a little bit of, if you actually know, Brothers in Arms, this is not actually the quote-unquote death pistol. If you don't know, there's a bit of a plot point later of the death pistol, which normally is, Sergeant Baker's pistol, but, this one's actually not it. It's actually a different pistol. I'll point that out later. But yeah, this would be a member of the 327th. Although that's a Army Air Corps patch. I don't think they operated gliders. I'm gonna have to double check that and add that in post. So Kevlar here. I'm actually wrong. The game is actually correct. So while I couldn't find the specific units that did the 101st resupply mission, I did find the specific units that did the 82nd resupply mission. And these were the 437th Troop Carrier Group, the 438th Troop Carrier Group, and the 436th Troop Carrier Group, and the 435th Troop Carrier Group, which were Army Air Forces. They were part of the Army Air Corps, so that patch is actually correct. Now, they are listed in the game as being 327th. That part is actually incorrect. But the actual patch of the guys who flew in there is actually correct. Because while I was double checking this, while I could only find like properly the 82nd list of units that resupplied them, it is, I also looked up the 437th, and it does state that they also did resupply the 101st. So it's a good chance that all four of them resupplied both. But yeah, just a really cool little detail that I had no clue about. The fact that we actually had some independent Army Air Forces guys who flew in gliders to reinforce the airborne. Just a really cool thing that I had no clue about, and now the game actually pointed out correctly. It does state, again, like, it says that they are the 327th. They would not be the 327th. They would be more accurately the 437th Troop Carrier Group, or the 438th, or the 436th, or the 435th. But anyway, back to the video. Just a really cool thing I wanted to show you. I need to take that little position up there. not taking too much damage.
Fire!
Oh god.
Ich hab einen erwischt.
I was way too aggressive there.
Red, you're with me. Quick, get over there. Let's move. Suppressing fire. Firing! That way. Double
So
time.
let's get that down.
Roger that. Target them. We gotta get around them. Suppressing fire.
Kind of the little bit more frustrating part is when you have a clear shot and you just don't get it because the gun's a bit inaccurate. Let's actually go this way.
Head that way. You heard him. Let's move. There's more of them.
Yeah, 327th. Definitely listed as the 327th. Bastone's Bulldogs, although obviously they didn't have that nickname yet. Because this is before Bastone. That's her modern nickname. And I can't remember if I said this before, but they eventually did get the recognition, and they had their own little emblem actually made just for them, and their own like little insignia. Yeah. 327th was just as much a part of the 101st as the regular
Face of
parachute infantry regiments. Okay. I need to be a lot more careful. This is really kind of the first mission where
I need suppressing fire.
you really just can't like rush everywhere.
Heavy fire.
Guys.
Right there.
Kill that team.
Covering fire. Fire in the hole. Fire now. Suppressive fire. Here we go.
Okay, let's move around.
They're coming back. That's
Shoot.
it. Get 'em.
Let's not be as aggressive.
Pouring it on.
Okay,
Move to that position.
move them up there.
There's more of them. You're with me.
Alright, let's keep pushing up.
Roger that.
Try to take out these two squads.
Set up there. Keep up the fire. Got it. Fire on those crowds.
Oh, Hardsock got hit. God, that's another grenade.
I can't shoot there, Sarge. Fire.
Keep firing, guys.
There's no way, Sarge. More on the fire. Assault! Move on that position.
Let's have him just take that position.
Attack down.
Okay, we got that position. Only lost a little bit of health. But yeah, this game will punch you if you're not careful. And obviously, I am not careful in this mission. let's start taking these out. Once all these are destroyed, mission's over. So it's gonna be a little bit dicey as I get closer, but
Base of fire over there.
as long as my guys actually, keep up the fire, should have enough cover in order to be able to sneak up there. Yeah, these were set up by Rommel in order to help prevent glider troops from landing properly. As well as, not just this, but he also flooded a whole bunch of fields throughout Normandy. And that created a really bad situation, especially for... They're not shooting. My guys aren't shooting. God, I'm gonna die. Get to cover. I knew that. they stopped shooting for some reason. I'm just gonna sneak up here. You can hit him. You guys are hitting him before.
Put some fire on him. Hit him hard.
Get down. That should be it. Yeah. They should pull back. Just gotta, survive. Or kill all three.
Let's stick together.
Oh god. That's the glider landing. That's it. But yeah, Rommel filled a whole bunch of these fields with stakes, and they also flooded a whole bunch of fields so that way when paratroopers landed in them, they would drown. Yeah, anti-paratrooper defenses were a real thing in Normandy, and they costed a lot of guys their lives. But yeah, with that, 327th here, which I'll double check to make sure that these guys, landed at this time, because I think they would have landed way earlier, unless this is just a supply run. So, I already mentioned that these are not the 327th, they should be, in reality, a whole separate unit. But, yeah, they did land at this time, specifically 2 missions, which is Mission Keokuk, which is the resupply mission for the 101st, and Mission Elmira, which was the mission to resupply the 82nd Airborne. But yeah, they are supposed to be here. Not the 327th. 327th, the guys who did land in gliders arrived with the airborne infantry. Meanwhile, the rest of them had to wait until Utah Beach was secured, in which case they just came ashore. But yeah, back to the video, which isn't entirely, unrealistic. And also double check his patch, because that patch doesn't look right.
Thanks for taking those things down. I figured I'd get skewered for sure.
But yeah, if you notice, these guys look way more like just...
You with the 502nd, right? I'm supposed to resupply you guys.
They look more like army troops because they weren't allowed to look like airborne. Because they weren't airborne, despite being a part of the division. But with that, we'll actually back out. And yeah, that'll be it for the mission today. I'm gonna double check, see if they actually have something on the asparagus. Oh. Just some signal photos of glider landings. Yeah. Yeah, just basically gliders carried the heavier equipment. And the advantages of gliders is that if you really needed to keep a unit together, it was way easier to keep guys together in gliders than with paratroopers and through parachuting. Eventually, this would be subsumed by the helicopter. Helicopter would fulfill the same role, but better. Yeah, Rommel's asparagus. Yeah, and it was even going to be worse because, yeah, they were ready to put mines and wires there. Yeah. Yeah, very nasty things with the glider. And also, the glider troops are just, generally speaking, kind of like not talked about at all. And honestly, they deserve a lot more credit. But with that being said, thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, I appreciate you liked and subscribed. And have a wonderful day. Goodbye.